There is no other wildflower to which the term constellation can be more aptly applied at this early summer time of year than greater Stitchwort, when it smothers the hedges with its brilliant white stars. And of no other wildflower is it truer that to really understand what happens in those stars, it's not enough to look at the flowers in 3 dimensions, but over time. And then you'll appreciate that the only way to describe what happens is in terms of a floral ballet enacted over 4 days. At first glance, the flower seems to have 10 petals, but if you look more closely, you will see there are only 5, but so deeply cleft as to look like 10. The ovary is in the centre, a green bollard from the top of which 3 slender white styles emerge. And there are 10 stamens in 2 groups of 5. The longer set of stamens stands in front of the sepals, and they have swollen yellow bases. These are the nectaries. The other shorter set stands in front of the petals. The flowers droop when rain threatens in order to keep the pollen dry. In Act 1, the styles remain upright over the ovary, facing each other, and they are not yet receptive. The 5 longer outer stamens lean into the centre of the flower, and the anthers release their pollen. In Act 2, the outer stamens bend back to where they came from, and their place is taken by the 5 inner stamens. At this stage, the styles separate, and their stigmas become receptive, but they remain upright. Then, in Act 3, the styles reflect all the way outwards. In Act 1, the flower is producing pollen that visiting insects can carry away, but it cannot itself be fertilized. In Act 2, both cross and self-pollination can occur. In Act 3, self-pollination usually takes place because the outward reflexed stigmas come in contact with the aging stamens. The flowers are visited for both pollen and the abundant nectar by a wide variety of early summer insects: beetles, flies, bees, moths and butterflies. Greater Stitchwort is a marvellous example of the doctrine of signatures. You'll notice the way it's swollen at the joints, at the nodes where the leaves come off, and it readily breaks at the joints. And this was taken as a clue that the reason God had created Greater Stitchwort was to help with the healing of broken bones. And in fact, this is echoed in the scientific Latin name for the plant, which is Stellaria holostea. Stellaria is from the Latin word stella, appropriately meaning a star, and holostea is from 2 Greek words, which mean more or less bone setter. The English name, Stitchwort, reflects another former use. According to John Gerard, mixed with wine and powdered acorns it was administered against the pain in the side, stitches and such like. Whence, of course, the English name Stitchwort.